Brighten up those already bright mornings. Wheeler, Ollie, and Lecter. Mornings at the Cabin.
Morning, everybody. 7 o'clock on the nose on your Wednesday morning. Ollie and Lecter with you. Wheeler still off preparing to assault Area 51. We had very different evenings last night. I got through the door, exhausted still from Folk on the Rocks. Straight into bed. Done. Thanks for coming. Good night. Lecter, on the other hand, a little more adventurous.
Little less. Hello? I'm there? Yeah.
I can hear you.
Okay. Little less exhausted from Folk on the Rocks. A little more exhausted from being an amateur paddler. And an amateur navigator.
Okay.
And just an amateur in general.
What happened?
Well, we can get into. Do you want me to talk about it now?
No, you're all good. We've only got a minute left on this one, so we'll park that for a few minutes. Suffice to say that little voyage last night, and we look forward to hearing about that.
Never worked so hard for a picnic in my life.
A Tuesday night canoeing. I mean, I will say now, you guys and your insistence on this wilderness adventurousness. Oh, it's the summer. We have to make use of the summer.
It's a bit much, isn't it?
Oh, it's tiring me out even thinking about it. But good for you. Yeah, it's one of those where it's like, good for you. Yeah, gold star. All right, well done. You live in the north and you went out paddling on a Tuesday night. You get some sort of badge for that.
It's been so long since I got a gold star.
Well, today is your lucky day. Mornings at the cabin. It's already a little tiring even thinking about it. But don't worry. We're here to brighten up your morning, help you relax, and ease you in to the middle of the week.
Mornings at the Cabin, the podcast.
Lecter, you're looking like you're a little tired.
Arms are a little sore. Just flew in.
You know, I did think of making that exact same joke and had that exact same internal reaction.
You know, it had to be done.
It had to be done. So last night, when most people on a Tuesday evening are just trying to get through their week and then, like me, just crawled back into the house, straight under the covers, lights out, woke up to a whole bunch of messages in the morning from people who had been trying to get in touch with me last night. And nope, I was out for the count. You, on the other hand,
leave them alone.
On a little voyage.
Yeah, a little voyage. So Nicole decided that it was a good picnic night. And I mean, it was a beautiful day, beautiful evening. It cooled off a little bit in the evening, which was kind of nice in a way, especially considering we were about to embark on a combined time 4-ish hour paddle.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
So when did you leave?
So we pretty much, like, I left work, around right after 5 o'clock, got home. We had stuff pretty much packed up, ready to go.
Yeah.
Just took the dogs out quickly to pee, went out, drove out to Yellowknife River, put the boats in. We probably got the boats in and were off at, like, I want to say somewhere between like 5:30 and 5:45.
Which
so
is
like
pretty good turnaround.
Yeah, so we're making pretty good time. This is going to be a nice little time. And so if you look up Cinnamon Island on Google Maps, it doesn't look that daunting. Basically, from that sky view, you just kind of go up and around one bend, and there it is. It's just sitting there kind of right in the middle of the river.
Okay, yeah, looking at it now. So, yeah, that's the Yellowknife River, the day-use area. You put in there, just north of the town.
Yeah.
You paddle up, and there's a couple of big-ish islands in the way. Then you go around this little bend, and there's Cinnamon Island.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like it's about a 4 or 5 kilometer paddle, though.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay, okay.
Therein probably lies the problem. I don't think we calculated any sort of distance. It was just like, it's just around the bend. Just up around the bend. That's it. And then we get there. We'll have a nice little picnic, take it easy for maybe an hour or so, relax, read our books or whatever. And then we'll come back and, have a nice early night. We got back. We made it there, which was in question for a bit because we thought we were there at one point and realized we had actually turned the wrong way. And that's even kind of hard to do because, I mean, it's a river. How do you turn the wrong way, right? You're either going backwards or you're continuing on the way you came. No, we kind of looped around that first big island that's just plopped in the middle of the river. We kind of hooked around left around there. which was a nice little spot, but not the way to Cinnamon Island. So we got our bearings, figured it out, went the right way, made it there, and relaxed a little bit. ate our picnic, which was now basically just to get our energy back. Not necessarily for any type of relaxation. It's just we need to recharge because we've been paddling for a ridiculous amount of time already. And so we started back, and by the time all was said and done, I think we rolled back into our house around 10 to 10, somewhere around there.
You know,
it was a good full night.
That's a good night.
Yeah.
And it's tough because on the one hand you're like, yeah, good. That's exactly how one should be living one's life in the Northwest Territory.
Well, maybe in theory.
Outside, enjoying it, making the most of it. On the other hand, rather you than me. I was quite happy. I had a little beverage last night. I went to bed. I got a nice 8-hour kip.
Yeah.
Part of me is a little envious of you.
Yeah.
That you got to go out and do that. A lot of me isn't. Yeah. And I'm trying to read between the lines as to whose idea this was in your household.
I'll give you 2 guesses to be generous.
Yeah,
it wasn't Finnegan's.
Yeah.
It wasn't Jaya's. I'll eliminate those 2 right now.
Yeah, I think we can all just listening to that sentence get a sense of whose idea this was.
Yeah, I mean we're fully taking advantage, like you said, of the summer. Whenever there's a nice, sunny, calm day, not too windy. Which yesterday, I will say, yesterday was the perfect day to go out and have a little paddle around. The water was pretty much calm the whole way, which in hindsight, it would have been nice if the wind had picked up on the way home, just kind of blow us back towards the bridge, the Day Use area there, but it's not always meant to be. Somewhat related, somewhat unrelated. Have you ever noticed how Google Maps just has issues as soon as you leave quote unquote Yellowknife city limits? If you notice on Google Maps, Cinnamon Island says underneath it, Fort Smith, unorganized, NT.
Yeah, Fort Smith does seem to lay claim on Google Maps to a lot of the Northwest Territories.
As soon as you get outside of Yellowknife, Google Maps is just like, Fort Smith, I guess. I don't know. What do you want from me?
Well, tonight, if you start paddling to Fort Smith, that's going to be a longer trip.
That'll definitely be Nicole's idea.
That'll just pop across the lake. I'm sure it's relatively easily done. Look, you just pop across little Grace Lake there. You probably you see there's a lovely little river there. Just above Fort Res.
Yeah.
You just pop in through there, then just cruise on down the Slave River there, and I think you'd be there in about a week.
Yeah, it's just like one lake and then a bit, right?
One day, Cabin Radio is going to do a paddling expedition from Yellowknife to Fort Smith. I don't know who's going to be doing that. We'll have to hire some staff and make them, but we'll get there, and they will report back, and I will continue to do what I'm doing, which is fall asleep a lot and listen to other people's paddling.
I think I'll be on your side on that one.
Mornings at the Cabin, the podcast where we cut out all the great music and you're left with the rest.
If you've been listening to the news, you will know that RCMP are strongly of the belief that some form of vandalism, which is what people have been saying for days, but police now officially coming out and saying they believe some sort of vandalism was the cause behind the cut fiber line on Saturday, and the fact that everybody lost internet. I have shown great restraint in all my reporting on this so far and not mentioned the incredible impact, the perfect storm that was wrought upon Cabin Radio. As a result of that being an internet radio station, we did not have the easiest of Saturdays.
No doubt, in an effort to sabotage our Folk on the Rocks coverage.
Yeah.
Without question, I would say.
Without question. Yeah. Just imagining the short list of people that could have been. Anyway, no. So we move on. We move on. What is it about sitting in this chair that makes you become Jesse Wheeler?
Bit more cynical today, aren't you?
Yeah, very strange. It's like the tentacles of the chair I can feel wrapping around my soul like a little Horcrux.
Yeah, my comment was tongue-in-cheek. Yours sounded genuine.
Yeah, straight out the gate. Anyway, one of the interesting things about this is the RCMP are asking, as you would, asking any drivers who might have been passing the scene to get in touch.
Right.
Now, the issue with this is that RCMP and Northwest Tel are refusing to say precisely where the scene was.
Right.
I think in part because they don't want you to know where the exposed fiber line is.
Uh-huh.
So there's a mix of underground and then it sort of is stretched over bedrock. over the top in some places.
Right.
And they don't really want to tell you where the over the top bits are for precisely this reason, that they don't want people to get involved and start damaging it.
You want a copycat
don't want
cutter.
Copycat cutter, yes, very good.
Just came up with that.
That was very good. And so, but they still want people, if they saw something, to get in touch.
Yes.
So it's like if you were driving outside Yellowknife, Highway 3, Saturday morning, you saw something, get in touch. And then it says if you have dash cam footage. Now, how many people have dash cams here?
Yeah, and something I never really thought. They're becoming like somewhat common. I know they're really common in Russia, oddly enough.
Yeah.
And I think they are becoming somewhat more common, but it's something that I never thought about until you mentioned it in your news story, that they are asking for people's help, if they saw anything, particularly if they have dash cam footage. And it's like, yeah, you know what? Why don't we? Now, we had an interesting kind of topic on discussion in one of our comment sections on a story last week about the war monument being vandalized last week, and there were people basically, people were pretty upset about that, and there were a lot of calls about to neighboring businesses, of which there are several in that area, to if any of those had cameras, because a lot of places do have cameras outside of their buildings. But I don't know if anything has come out of that. But there were a lot of people who are saying, well, maybe we should have more cameras put up in downtown. And there were people kind of responding to that, being like, do we really need more cameras surveying our every move? And I could kind of see both sides of that, because on one hand, no, you don't necessarily want more cameras surveying every part of your daily existence. That I don't think that's really the world we want to live in. In theory, yeah, okay, it could be okay, because it's in theory, there are only two things you can do in this world: good things and bad things. However, there are also embarrassing things that fall into the gray area. Like if you are, maybe feeling a little bit under the weather. Maybe you're walking down the street and you find a unstiflable sneeze come upon you, and suddenly there are boogers all over your face. Is that something that you want a camera picking up, possibly for someone else's judgment to use or not use in a funny manner?
The UK has
Sorry, I went off the rails.
You went off on one there.
I could just see it happening to me, I guess, is all.
Would you like the Jesse Wheeler chair? The UK is full of cameras. Compared to Canada, it's absolutely full of cameras. Every downtown in the UK has security cameras everywhere.
Yeah.
And it's a fact of life. People are used to it.
Yeah.
And generally speaking, there is not that much antagonism toward that. A, because people are used to it, but B, because we all know that the people watching those cameras are just your average guy, some security guard somewhere. Like, it's not Big Brother.
Right.
It's just some bloke somewhere.
Probably not even watching. They're probably sleeping. Just
probably isn't even watching.
Got it on record in the background in case anything happens.
Right, and it's just sort of, there's a very sleepy feel to it.
Yeah.
Like, the cameras are there, but they're there in case, like, a car goes into a building behind me. Right? And then they're going to go look at the footage. There's not an armada of people glued to all of these screens watching everybody's every step. They're there as a sort of a backstop.
Yeah.
Having said that, the only reason that's fine is because we know that that's the case.
Right.
Were there to be a government empowering future that changed that, well, the infrastructure's all already there.
Yeah.
And that would be a little daunting at that point. Now, to your point, yeah, the cameras theoretically are all there just to stop, just to make sure that in the case of a crime, you can go back and check. But, yeah, lo and behold, every now and again, footage will surface from a security camera of somebody, like, walking into a fountain while they were texting somebody.
Yeah.
Right? Because, yeah.
That happens to all of us.
The cameras were on, and they caught that ridiculous moment, and, sometimes the people on the other end of the cameras can't help themselves. They got to post online the hilarious footage of the guy that walked into a fountain while texting somebody.
Yeah.
And then that's kind of like, oh, that's kind of sad for you if you're the guy.
Yeah.
That this has been, this mistake that we're all perfectly capable of making.
Yes.
Has now been immortalized because there happened to be a camera on the situation. I get that.
I feel like there's also, in regards to Yellowknife specifically, with recent history in mind, there is also still kind of a lingering bad taste with regards to cameras in public spaces. You probably know what I'm referring to.
I think people do.
Yeah.
And if they don't, one search for security cameras Yellowknife on Google will reveal all, which was the problem in the first place.
Yeah. So it's an interesting thought that, when things like this happen, yes, I think we would all like to have had a camera there. Unless it was just a bison. Maybe it was just a bison.
For the sounds of the news release, it would have to have been a bison. I mean, I don't know what happened. No details have been provided, but I get
we
the
don't have
impression
any
of
camera footage.
Yeah, a bison with a gun and some knives. Yeah, like a bison with opposable hooves.
He probably, he might have been walking along the rocks and kind of tripped over this line. He's like, what's this doing here? Just started hammering on it with his hoof. It's like, get this line out of here. This is a danger to me and my herd.
Which essentially is true. I mean, if you take it to its logical conclusion. But yes, it could have been that. I suspect that the police have slightly more evidence to suggest it maybe wasn't. But who'd want? Yeah, it made me think, do I need a dash cam?
You don't not need a dash cam?
I think the reason they're so popular in Russia is it has more to do with insurance over there. I think
okay.
It's part of a lot of insurance policies that you use a dash cam as well. There's a lot of insurance fraud there, I think. And little tricks like people backing into you and things like that, or like throwing themselves across your car to try to claim off the insurance. So dash cam sort of allows insurance companies to review the circumstances of what may have happened.
Okay.
In a way that
makes sense.
In a way that doesn't really exist here yet.
Yeah.
Now,
it's only a matter of time till we start throwing ourselves in front of each other's cars. We're already cutting fiber lines.
Exactly, right? You can't trust these hooligans as far as you can throw them.
In front of a car.
Just made me think. I imagine there's a whole bunch of nice stuff you could... I feel like I just have a YouTube channel full of, like, here's my 10-hour drive from Yellowknife to Fort Smith. Captured in glorious high definition. There's one bison at 3 hours and 17 minutes in. Enjoy it.
And look at that. He's cutting a fiber optic line.
We have the proof.
All I can hope is that we hold these bison fully accountable for their actions. Whether or not they knew they were doing something wrong, it's time to pay. All right?
Well, if you can operate a knife, you can probably reach into a wallet there, Bison. I'm just saying. There'll be a fine for that.
Scenes on the cabin.
I understand you're a man who knows how to get things.
I'm known to locate certain things from time to time. They seem to fall into my hands. Maybe it's because I'm Irish.
I wonder if you could get me a rock hammer.
What is it and why?
You make your customers' motives a part of your business?
If you wanted a toothbrush, I wouldn't ask questions. I'd just quote a price. Toothbrush, see, as a non-lethal sort of object.
Yeah, fair enough. A rock hammer is about 8 or 9 inches long. Looks like a miniature pickaxe with a small sharp pick on one end and a blunt hammerhead on the other. It's for rocks.
Rocks. Quartz?
Quartz, sure. And look, mica, shale, silted granite. There's some graded limestone from when they cut this place out of the hill.
So?
I'm a rock hound. At least I was in my old life. I'd like to be again, on a limited scale.
Yeah, that or maybe plant your toy in somebody's skull.
I have no enemies here.
No? Just wait.
Scenes from the cabin.
Know the movie? Submit your guest to mailbox@cabinradio.ca or send us a message on Facebook for your chance to win gift certificates to some awesome Yellowknife restaurants, including Zehabesha, Main Street Pizza, The Woodyard Eatery, Copper House Restaurant, and Java Roma. Listen to Cabin Radio every weekday to win or download the Mornings at the Cabin podcast.
Lecter, Ollie, and Sarah is in as well. Now, moment of solemn silence here. Here we go. Because today is an inauspicious day for Penny, the puppy. Sarah, what have you done to the puppy?
Well, we woke up, we went for a walk, I did not feed her breakfast, and I dropped her off at the animal shelter because she's getting spayed today.
Today is Spay Day for Penny. Penny, we're thinking of you. It has to happen. It's ultimately like it's a good thing. Obviously, Cabin Radio encourages that. But Cabin Radio at the same time feels bad for its poor puppy on the day.
It does.
And we actively look forward to looking after that poor dog for the next little week or two here.
Yeah.
And making sure that she feels okay. Because, that's... how are you doing?
I'm okay. It was hard leaving her there because she doesn't like the animal shelter very much. She finds it very loud, and she doesn't like it when she hears all these dogs barking, but she can't see them.
Right.
So yeah, she was shaking. She had her tail between her legs. She kept trying to crawl up into my lap when I was trying to put her in the little crate there. So
Pen.
it was pretty sad leaving her, but
You were a little red-eyed when you came in.
I was fine.
No, I don't know. I don't know if you were. You're putting up a strong face, Sarah. I gotta say, it's very impressive. But be honest. It's an emotional day.
It was a little sad having to leave her. But don't know what's happening to her for the rest of the day.
Well, I think you've got a fair idea. Would you like me to explain?
I don't have to go pick her up until 4 o'clock, so that's like a long time for her just to be there. Hanging out, recovering.
Yeah,
I think we've done a video on the spaying neutering process for a pet project, right?
We've covered it a couple of times, and of course she's at the shelter because she's a rescue dog, so she gets the benefit of being able to go back to a shelter to get that done as well, which is nice. It's great that they offer that. Again, full credit to the SPCA for making it super easy for rescue dogs to get that kind of stuff done.
Mm-hmm. As if it wasn't a tough enough day for Penny, just the description of the start of your day is it just makes it even more harsh. Just like, woke up, didn't feed her breakfast, hauled her off to the shelter. And that's where she stays.
So the dog already has questions, right, from the start of the day. It's like, why am I in trouble here? Because you haven't fed me. Now where are we? Why are you putting me... Well, now I'm alone, and wow, I must have really screwed up somewhere. Because, boy, does she ever hate me today.
One garbage sniff too many, huh? All right, well, I made my own bet on this one.
It was harder than I expected, having to leave her there because she was so scared. But
and then the cone of shame. Immediately following.
Yeah.
Oh, how long?
I think 2 weeks. I don't have any of the details of after care yet. We'll chat with them.
If you hear clunking noises in the background of mornings at the cabin for the next 2 weeks, you'll know that is a dog experiencing navigational difficulty.
Well, she's already pretty clumsy. She trips downstairs all the time. So I don't know what's going to happen with this cone.
No.
She probably won't be able to get into the garbage with the cone on, which is a good thing. But
of course, the bad news in all of this is that my plans for a lucrative puppy farm are now shot. I had, of course, been going for the penny puppy farm. $100 a throw. Get a famous cabin radio. You know how horses, thoroughbred horses, they eventually get sort of sent off to stud, and people pay millions because this horse was produced of some great horse somewhere else. Well, look, this is pretty much Yellowknife's most famous dog at this point. I was like, you've got to be able to make a killing on the puppies. And then, what do you mean you got to get a spay? Obviously, I'm joking.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if you were going to share that.
Obviously, I'm joking.
A lot of ethical problems with
there were a lot of ethical problems. I was going to give myself 15 seconds for that joke, and I was like, that is as many seconds as I can go through.
Cut it off here.
Before people are going to turn up with pitchforks outside the door. Penny is a rescue dog. Cabin Radio fully supports rescue dogs. Rescue a dog. Don't use a puppy farm, even if it will financially support your radio station for a year.
Some dog enthusiasts driving down Highway 3 right now. Like, where's that exposed wire? I'm going to cut that thing again.
That internet radio station's toast.
This is for everybody, puppies especially.
Okay, please don't vandalize the fiber line connecting Yellowknife to the south just because Cabin Radio was expecting to launch a puppy farm. It was in jest. We realize that it is not that funny a subject overall. We are not starting a puppy farm, and we absolutely do support the SPCA and rescue dogs, and we support Pen Pen. And we're thinking of poor Penelope Dog.
Oh, Pen Pen. Godspeed.
Godspeed to Pen Pen. Thank you to the SPCA for doing such wonderful stuff. We hugely appreciate it. And, watch the Instagram page, because if nothing else, you could supply a consolatory Instagram like at some point today when poor Pen Pen is back in our tender care.
Or thoughts and prayers, if you prefer.
Thoughts and prayers to Pen Pen and to you, Sarah, because it's a tough day for the owner as well. So we're thinking of you too. And keep us posted, eh?
Sounds good.
Come back on the show tomorrow with a little woozy puppy there and see how we're getting on.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Good.
Hey, she gets breakfast tomorrow.
You'll get breakfast tomorrow.
Things are looking up already.
Things are looking up, everybody. If you're having a tough day out there today, focus on breakfast.
The Mornings at the Cabin podcast.
Ollie, Lecter, and AJ in the studio with you. AJ has replaced Sarah. Sarah has gone off on this least auspicious of days for Penny the puppy. Today is the day of the spay. Good luck to Penny. We will get an update on that tomorrow. AJ, good morning.
Good morning.
Now, this will all be a lot easier once we have computers in our brains. Can we agree?
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Mornings at the cabin specifically?
Well, mornings at the cabin, most definitely. The thought of being able to take an implant into Jesse's brain that will just control the technology and just fade things up at the right time and press all the relevant buttons, that is very exciting, particularly if I'm allowed to control the implant.
Like you got a remote, like a mute button specifically.
Well, a mute button would certainly come in handy, although really more just a sort of is everything going to plan button. Can I have one of those? Anyway.
A reset.
The reason I ask is Elon Musk, not Elon Muskox, Elon Musk, has a company called Neuralink, which is designed to come up with a way of connecting the human brain to computers, which they've now done with a monkey. So they've gone through that point. They connected up a monkey. It was able to control a computer with its brain.
And what did they find out about this monkey?
It supports Trump.
Okay. And loves bananas.
It tweets a lot, AJ. It tweets a lot.
Comment sections can't help it.
Hashtag MAGA. No, I don't know what they discovered about the monkey that was able to control a computer with its brain, other than it could. Right? They proved the concept that they could make this work. Now they have applied to regulators in the US to start trialing on humans.
Oh,
jeez.
That's creepy. Like a USB in the back of your head? Or
what does it pay?
Oh, you see? Now that's interesting.
Yeah.
There's a man who's been through university and understands how to make a little extra money on the side. Yeah, exactly. Where do I sign up? How much will you give me?
I'm still a little itchy from those brownies last time.
$10 an hour. Hit me with it. Yep. So the device, the way it works is it's a little probe, and it has 3,000 little. It's a tiny thing. 3,000 little electrodes on little flexible threads. It's thinner than a human hair.
Okay.
When it connects in, and it monitors the activity of 1,000 neurons in your brain. So it plugs in, and it just takes this tiny little sample of what's going on. Apparently, the advantage of this is that you target very specific areas of your brain, which makes it surgically safer. Hurrah! Surgically safer. That's the words you want to hear when someone is attaching a computer to your brain.
Probe, surgically safe. Yeah, these are all great words.
These are all alien things. But anyway, so that is, and then you it analyzes things over time, and it sort of, you know how you train your phone to recognize your voice, sort of thing. Now say hello. Now say hey Google. All that sort of stuff.
Right. We won't need to do that anymore.
Well, it'll gradually do that with your brain instead. So it'll learn what your brain is doing over time. And so it's like, oh, okay, you're wanting me to do this. You're wanting me to do that. I get it now.
Because the calibration of Google Home is just so much. Just way too much. I haven't tried it myself.
It's in detail, that's all.
Yeah. So this is all good, right?
Think about the autofill, though. You know, I mean, in Google, you type in a couple weird things, and then automatically it jumps to these bold conclusions. Well, imagine if you're tied into your brain. You know, like if you something autofills and someone goes, "Well, what's that?" You're like, "Oh, I can't even explain that one."
I don't know where that came from. That's dark recesses of my brain that I didn't know existed.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's an interesting. I had not thought about that at all. Now, the argument for doing this from Elon Musk is that sooner or later we're all going to be left behind by artificial intelligence unless we do this. So it's bound to happen, is his theory, that we're developing computers that are stronger and stronger. We're training AI already. No matter, even if we all agree tomorrow, let's not train any more AIs because they're eventually going to take over the world and render us a useless second-class race of human slaves. Even if we all agree tomorrow that sounds like a good plan, let's not let that happen. Someone's going to do it.
Yeah, and that's why we need Will Smith.
And okay.
iRobot.
Okay.
He was half robot. And he saved us all.
So that's exactly this.
Yeah.
Yeah. I could be Will Smith.
But then we gotta
you gotta
let's
not go nuts.
Yeah.
We can't all.
You
Will
cannot
Smith.
be Will Smith.
No?
It's a stretch.
My issue with this is that I'm already half convinced that Elon Musk is not quite human. Probably at least a quarter cyborg of some kind.
And he's doing all right. He's a billionaire. I plug me in.
Well, he's got an unfair advantage. That's the thing. But
I want that unfair advantage.
He's convinced us, or at least a portion of us, that he is human. And now he's trying to use that to subvert our thoughts into it's going this way anyway, so you should probably just trust me on this. Totally human, just like you. I don't want to get left behind either. I'm Elon Musk.
That's why he's selling flamethrowers. He's like, I know humans.
Right? How do you trust a guy
Yeah.
who's patenting flamethrovers in his spare time?
It's like, I need flamethrowers to fund my tunnel. Genius.
Digging tunnels under L.A., just randomly patenting flamethrowers. Yeah, this guy it seems like a guy I would have put my trust into. Go ahead, Elon, implant something in my brain.
But
Let's
then-
see how it goes.
But then Tony Stark does it in Iron Man, and we love it. I'm just saying.
But he's so charming.
He is charming.
All right, so if we could just convince Robert Downey Jr. to switch with Elon Musk,
I
then
would trust Robert Downey Jr. on most things.
would you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'm assuming
that face.
Elon's going to be downloaded onto a computer here soon, so we could transfer him wherever we want. Put him into a much more palatable person.
I mean, we're going to get here eventually. I realize it may sound unpalatable. There is going to come a time when everyone is plugged into a computer in the brain.
Yeah.
I think that
I
is
don't think we'll
guaranteed.
See that. I don't think we'll see that in our lifetime.
Ooh, I don't know.
I mean, that's what the cyborg man is telling you.
Well, put it this way. You say we won't see that in our lifetime. In the year 1990, did you think you'd have one small device that would give you access to the sum total knowledge of
I
mankind?
just
Absolutely.
came into this world.
I realized you were a little green at that point.
Yeah.
But I reckon the concept of the cell phone as we now understand it, where it is a device that will give you access to literally anything you could ever hope to know.
Yes, that's true. Even the internet in 1990 was
Yeah.
not...
And that took like less than 30
Any-
years from 1990. When the internet, like people didn't have email in 1990. Now they've got the sum total of human knowledge in their pocket.
And because of that, I'd say technology's moving even faster. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, okay, all right. You make a good argument.
Quite frankly, that is the least I would have expected by now. Back in 1990.
Yeah.
We thought there was
Back
going to be
when-
flying cars by now.
That's true. That 70s show really predicted some awful things.
Yeah, by like the year 2000, we were thinking there was going to be flying cars.
Yeah, tinfoil everywhere.
We don't have that.
Well, I would argue that we could have had flying cars, but we realized that was fundamentally a bad plan.
Is that a bad plan?
Have you seen how people drive non-flying cars?
We can't even have drones.
Right. We can't have drones. We can't have ordinary vehicles. We screw up the concept of the
yeah.
ordinary vehicle on a day. The thought of allowing the drivers of Yellowknife to take to the skies in their vehicle is absolutely horrifying.
Yeah, but there's more space. You know? You're not going
There's
to
a lot
bump
of
into a
space out
building.
there.
Yeah, you can just go up and down. There's so much more space. You could be a horrible driver in this guy.
And yet people would still make U-turns for absolutely
Yeah,
no
we're not
reason in the
indicating-
middle of the street.
You understand the way that it works is not that, like, oh, I could drive in the sky, so now I'm just going to fly over Prelude. Like, you're still going to need to go from home to work and back.
I disagree.
Oh,
I'm
we
just
could
gonna
get
go
to
wherever
Hay
I
River
want.
so much quicker.
Oh, finally.
My God.
Finally.
900 vehicles all ditched halfway across Great Slave Lake. Nose down in the lake. Because somebody screwed it up.
Yeah, we didn't make it.
Okay, good. So we've established that we're all happy with having an implant into our brains to connect us to a
No, we have
computer.
not established
No,
that.
that's
No,
not
we
what
have
we've
certainly not
established.
established
We've established that it might happen.
Sorry, Elon, I tried. Thought I had him.
Nope.
Good effort. Good
But
effort.
they won't accept it until they've got their flying cars.
No, maybe if someone else comes up with it. Elon. Yeah.
I'm just like
No,
that.
you just don't trust that guy.
Who? Look up
If
Elon
RDJ
Musk's Joe Rogan podcast interview if you haven't seen it, and then tell me you trust that guy.
Okay. We will go and do that. I'd be interested to hear your views. If you're listening to this, will you happily accept being plugged into a computer? Does it depend which computer?
Ooh. Yeah.
Yeah, my Mac's
Maybe.
getting pretty unreliable these days. I don't know if I want to be plugged into that old girl.
Yeah. Your brain. The last thing you want is for your brain to hang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, but then
Lag.
again, it would be an easy transition. Yeah.
Is there going to be a control?
My brain's hanging a little bit.
Yeah, arguably our brains already lags.
Is there a Control-Alt-Delete? Can you go into Task Manager?
God, I hope so.
Yeah. I need to shut down my left arm. That thing is just not responding as planned.
Oh, yeah, you're getting a bit of a workout, huh?
Ollie.x has failed.
Thanks for listening. Check out more from the show at cabinradio.ca and by following the Mornings at the Cabin Facebook page.